All right, welcome to In Transit for this Tuesday on the Elias Macko Show. We head to what should be the friendly skies. Sometimes they're not so friendly. Air Canada CEO is apologizing yet again, this time for the company's shortfalls in accessibility. Also announcing that they're going to speed up their 3-year accessibility plan. Now, this is after a number of reports of passenger mistreatment. Some terrible headlines for Air Canada, by the way, including one incident where a man with spastic cerebral palsy had to drag himself off a plane in Las Vegas because there was a lack of assistance. Now, with more on this, we go to Heather Walkus, chair of the Council of Canadians with Disabilities. Heather, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So, Heather, sometimes, on this segment In Transit, we talk about airplanes and airlines at times, and Air Canada comes up. And, sometimes I say to myself, because we have a whole bunch of listeners that work for Air Canada, they're proud of working for Air Canada. And we've seen the industry awards where Air Canada does quite well. So I see all that. Then I see the bad headlines, and I say to myself, my goodness, you can't have someone dragging themselves off a plane. Having said that, Air Canada probably deals with millions of people a year. I would love to know how you view Air Canada, keeping all of that in mind.
Well, Air Canada and the entire federal transportation system has to wake up. I think one of the things that happens is it's very nice for the president to apologize, but he's apologizing for regulations that were in place 3.5 years ago. And they were supposed to be ready in June 2025 at 2020 to have all these systems in place. And he's apologizing for something he's known for a long time had to be in place. So the entire industry has to start thinking there are more people traveling than ever before. 1/4 of the population of Canada has said it has a disability. Why are these things not working together? It's because it has to be an attitudinal change to include people with disabilities as part of their customer service and their systems.
Can I ask you, Heather, is this an Air Canada problem or an industry-wide problem?
It's an industry-wide problem, but because Air Canada is one of the largest carriers in Canada, the press has been able to find much more problems through Air Canada. Same things happen with WestJet, with Porter, with Flair, with Via Rail. These things are happening a lot. Now, you should know historically we've always had voluntary codes that the industry was supposed to follow around disability. And we decided with CTA, the disability community wasn't enough. We had to make it regulation. So it's the law. And once we did that, we thought there'd be a great attitude, but there wasn't. And so it's system-wide. I don't think Air Canada is any worse or any better than any other group, but attitudinally, they are seen more. I travel with them a lot, so I've seen the changes and the lack of change.
What's the hang-up? You mentioned 25% of Canadians have some type of disability. So what's the hang-up? This is a valuable market. Well, why are they taking so long?
I think because from the top down, it isn't a priority. In 2021, in April, Air Canada received $5.879 billion agreement with the federal government, $4 billion in loan guarantees, and $500 million investment in Air Canada. The federal government made. And the expectation was, with all of this support they received, they would be able to get disability up. Their whole disability plan, all of those things, they did it outside of the disability community. The biggest problem with the system is they work outside of the disability community, not with knowledgeable people within disability. I sit on a national CTA accessibility committee with all of these groups. and people from all aspects of the disability community. And not once in all this time they ever come to the disability community and say, how do we fix this? How do we change this? What is it all you need to be able to travel just like anyone else within the system?
We're with Heather.
Not once. So they're trying to do it on our behalf using consultants without their knowledge either of disability, and they're doing the minimum.
Mm-hmm. We're with Heather Walkus, chair of the Council of Canadians with Disabilities. We're talking about accessibility shortfalls when it comes to flying with the airlines. So, Heather, you said they're talking to consultants here. Maybe not the right people. And is any of this? Does any of this have to do with money? Are they just hesitant for the cost?
Well, it's interesting. We pay the same price for the ticket as anyone else does. Mm-hmm. Yet many times the infrastructure within the system and the actual tools that are needed weren't purchased. And so they leave their staff, who I know many of them, I travel with many of them on an ongoing basis, deeply care about the change that needs to be made, but they don't have the power to make those changes, and no one listens to them at the problems that are happening. And this is endangering us all. And it endangers families who are traveling with someone with a disability. It really doesn't allow for room for, they can't use money as an excuse, because you look at their quarterly earnings, there's plenty of money there to include people with disabilities, to include their customers.
Heather,
and they're not doing it.
Heather, is there a priority for you that could be implemented in short order that could drastically improve the situation?
I think they need the right equipment, and they need training, proper training. I mean, there was a woman that was on a recent TV show that was talking about Air Canada. Under the regulation, people have to be trained every 3 years. One of the people that was sent to help this woman lift her out of her seat and put her in what we call an aisle seat, he hadn't been trained in over 7 years.
Oh, boy.
And he'd never touched that piece of equipment. That's not okay. And talk to the disability community. Talk to me. I know everybody across this nation who's involved in transportation from many different cross-disability groups. And they know what needs to change. That would change. Talk to the people that it affects. Don't do it on our behalf, because you're going to do it wrong. And you're going to spend a lot of money going the wrong way and then turning around having to do the right way.
Heather, we have to leave it there. I want to thank you so much for your time this morning.
This was great. Thank you.
That's Heather Walkus from the Council of Canadians with Disabilities.